Hey guys, Mr. Stillman here. We'll show you how to make these awesome wands from your favorite movie. They're actually pretty sweet. The first step you're going to want to do is grow a rockin' mustache. I'm a man, so I just grew mine. Some of you may be able to use your wands for it. We'll see what happens. Some spell or another. Go grab your wand. Alright guys, if you're going to make your wands like mine, you're going to want a couple things first. You're going to want 2 sheets of paper. This is printer paper. I actually have 4 sheets because I'm going to make 2 wands. You're going to want some Elmer school glue. You're going to want some scissors. You're going to want a hot glue gun. You're going to want a can of spray paint. Mine's white. It's been used a lot. And you're going to want some paint. Now I got this antique white and brown. It's going to make for a good looking wand. The first thing you're going to want to do is roll your paper up diagonally. Keep your hands close to one side so it tapers off and you're left with one smaller side. Use the Elmer's glue to glue the last little bit of paper left. You're going to coat the thing in glue. This will give it a much stiffer feel. I know how much you like stiff wands. Now we're going to stroke it gently and rub all the white stuff in. Yeah, stroke those wands. If you're like me, you'll use fiberglass resin, but that's for a more advanced tutorial. You're going to roll up your second piece of paper the same way, making a much smaller piece. This piece will go inside the first piece as a filler to keep the wand from caving or folding in. I also coat this piece in glue. You don't have to do this, I just do it for added stiffness. We're going to set our pieces out to dry. While they are drying, catch up on your book you've been reading, play a video game, or take a smoke break. Or you can just sit there and stare at them. Although I'm not sure if staring will make them dry faster. Maybe. I don't know. After they have dried, you're going to want to cut the ends of the bigger piece. This helps to know where to cut the piece that goes on the inside. The first few I ever made, I didn't do this, and it was really hard to cut both pieces at once. I'm also left-handed, so cutting things is pretty difficult for me. After you've cut it, you're going to glue the smaller piece into the bigger piece. Don't worry if it doesn't fit all the way in there. That's what she said. It'll look pretty solid when we're done. She also said that. Sorry about my sexual innuendos, but I'm sure we're all thinking it. If you didn't want to hear them, then maybe you shouldn't look at tutorials on how to make phallic things. After you've glued it, let it dry. I've edited out the drying sections for time purposes. You're going to cut the one end that's sticking out. Now we're going to hot glue both ends. I kind of just let the glue pour into the holes until I have a nice bubble shape, but sometimes it doesn't make a bubble shape, and I use the hot tip to round it off. You're going to do the same thing on the bigger end too. After the hot glue on the ends is dried, you're going to want to make your design. I'm fond of the spirals and circles on the wands. If you're going to do that, then you're just going to squeeze out some hot glue and slowly turn your wand, either moving your hand up the wand slowly or keeping it still. Now it's ready for spray painting. I'm starting my second wand following the same steps. I'm going to speed this up just a bit. Alright, for this one I'm making a handle. I made a circle so I would know where to stop, and I'm just putting glue filling up the section between that and the end. I'm using the tip to melt down and even out the glue, and I'm filling some holes with the glue. I'm not filling all of them because leaving some will give it a worn look. And then I give it a nice spiral design. Now we're going to take our wands out and spray them. You don't have to do this step, but I find it helps when putting the paint on. I'm just spraying them white. After they've dried, then it's time to paint. You're going to want a paper towel or a rag for this part. I forgot to mention that before. I'm painting the entire base of it antique white. This would be the inner wood, which would be a lighter color. I paint only half of it and let it dry while I paint half of the other wand. It keeps me from getting paint all over myself. Now it's time to add the brown color. If you're going to do a darker wand, then you'll want brown and black paints. What we are going to do is apply the brown paint, then gently wipe it off. This will remove some of the paint, leaving streaks that will look like wood and exposing the lighter color underneath. For the sections where you have the hot glue, you're going to do the same thing, but in a circular motion. It will leave the darker color around the edges, which gives it that nice worn look. Sometimes you'll rub too much paint off. Just reapply and then wipe again. I find it helps if you let it dry for a couple seconds, but don't wait too long. You'll want to work in small sections doing this technique. When you get to the ends where the hand would hold the wand, you're going to want to leave the lighter paint exposed, because over time, holding a wand would have worn it down and exposed the inner wood. And there you go. That's how you make some awesome wizard's wands. Magic.